We are live once again on Proline TV for more thoroughbred horse racing action as we get you ready for another big weekend. As we turn our attention now, John, to 100-point Derby prep races with the Louisiana Derby as our premier race that we're going to break down today. We'll also go over the race just prior to the Louisiana Derby, which is the Fairground Oaks. That is a similar prep for the Kentucky Oaks. And John's got a bonus pick for you from Fairgrounds as well. And then when we say goodbye to John, I will spend a few minutes going over the Jeff Ruby Stakes with our audience. So, John, it's been a week off because we got a lot of good racing ahead of us now, including the Triple Crown. So another week to re-energize.
Yeah, it's getting serious time now. These are 100-point races, so it's going to be interesting to see what happens from here. I would say you need at least 50 points probably to get in. So,
yeah, the last time we were with everybody a couple of weeks ago, we were talking about the Tampa Bay Derby and the San Felipe, and those are 50-point races. And Puma came on late to win the Tampa Bay Derby. While Potente had a late charge and stole the San Felipe from 67 to one-shot Robusta. And I recall there were a lot of long shots that day at Santa Anita. I don't know what was going on, but Robusta almost, big payday for somebody, but hopefully somebody got paid off with an exacta. Anyway, Puma and Potente. Anything you recognize there from those two races that we need to keep an eye on those two horses?
Well, Potente is a Baffert horse. So he only had one start going into the race. He ran very well. So obviously always got to be concerned about Baffert. He's loaded every year. The big disappointment was Brandt, $3.5 million horse. I think he ran fourth in that race. So.
Yeah, he was the even money favorite who I think at the morning line favorite. And then I think he was like 3-5 at one point on race day.
Short. He was definitely short.
And Potente was around 7-1 close to post time. Those are the two Baffert horses. And as usual, Baffert's best paying horse wound up winning. That was his 10th career win in the San Felipe. He ran a 12 in his first race. So, can only guess if he ran a little bit better in race number 2. And you mentioned the Puma was an 8-1 morning line shot who ran a 9 in his very first race, then a 13. Then he won the race at Tampa Bay at the Tampa Bay Derby.
By the way, Chief Wallaby, one of the horses that, should be a major player for Bill Mott. He beat the Puma first time out. So,
okay. Chief Wallaby.
It
was one of your picks recently, wasn't it?
Yeah, he got beat, but he ran second. He ran good.
Yeah, there's another horse we're going to be talking about today that you picked recently that finished in second, but we'll get to that in a little bit. Also, last week, we were not on the air. That's because the Virginia Derby and some of the other races were pretty lackluster. Incredibolt won the last 50-point prep race of the season in the Virginia Derby.
Yeah, and Incredibolt threw in a clunker in the Holy Bull at Gulfstream and came back with a good race for Riley Mott, son of Hall of Famer Bill Mott, and will be waiting now and just run directly. His next race will be in the Derby, so he's got enough points. He's going to be in, and he's going to wait for the Derby.
Now, next week, we will have two more really awesome races. Of course, we will talk about both of them, the Florida Derby and the Arkansas Derby. And then 2 weeks from today will be the last of the big races. That is going to be the Bluegrass, the Santa Anita, and the Wood. Of course, you've got the Lexington, which is that's also a 100-point race, isn't it?
Yeah, the Bluegrass isn't the Bluegrass isn't at Santa Anita, is it?
No, that's at Keeneland. The Santa Anita Derby is the other one I was talking about. Right. Yeah. So the Bluegrass, the Santa Anita Derby, and the Wood Memorial, that's in 2 weeks. So the next 5 races in the next 2 weeks are going to be the premier 2 weeks of Kentucky Derby prep racing. And we will talk about all 5 races right here on the show. And on today's show, again, we are going to start at Fairgrounds. So let's get to it. And it's race number 11. Let me see if I can get the entries up for everybody. By the way, have you noticed any of the futures? Like, is there like an odds-on favorite right now for the Derby?
No.
No horse that like everybody's talking about? Nothing like that yet?
Not really, no.
Okay, that's good. All right, so here you go. This is these are the entries for the 7-horse field in the Grade 2 Fairgrounds Oaks. It's a $400,000 race for fillies, 3-year-olds. Again, this is the 3-year-old prep race for the Kentucky Oaks, and the morning line favorite is the 5 Bella Ballerina. Right now, a 7-to-5 shot, John, and she's going to be awfully tough to beat in this one.
Well, she's never done anything wrong. 3 starts at 3 different tracks, Keelan, Churchill, and Fairgrounds, and she's won all 3 of them. And Brendan Walsh certainly knows how to win races. He's a terrific trainer. Tyler Gaffleone rides. Certainly the horse to beat on Saturday in this Fairgrounds Oaks race.
Yeah, and going through the field, the 1 doesn't look like she has much of a shot. All 4 of her races were on Lasix, by the way.
Correct, and I don't think she can run better than a 15, and a 15 will get you nothing in Saturday's race.
The 2 is Newton Pike. Now, actually, the 2 and the 3, I think, might be pretty decent options if you want to go with the 5 and then you're looking for some money. They're both 8-1, so they're both priced pretty well. Newton Pike is coming off a 12, so you do have to worry a little bit about a bounce, of course. And then the 3 Maximum Offer is coming off of 14. Now, both of these horses have improved in all of their races. So, yeah, what do you think about that? If you like either one of these horses for a possible exacta or maybe even a top pick, I don't know.
I do like the 2. I think the 2 is better than the 3. The 2 is 8-1. The 3 is 8-1. They're both, listed at those prices. They were both last running at Oaklawn Park and now shipping to Fairgrounds. So, if I had to pick between the 2, I was going to use the 2 as one of my 2 exacta hookups with the favorite in here. And listen, if she's anywhere near 8-1, nothing wrong with playing her.
Nope, she's been a heavy long shot in her first 3 races, but maybe that last race, especially at this same distance, she almost won. Maybe that will give her a little bit of love.
And by the way, she does have enough time from that race. That race was back on February 6th, I believe. Yep. So, you know, she's got plenty of time coming in, which is a good thing.
Yeah, Newton Pike, again, 19, 18, and then 12, whereas Maximum Offer went from an 18 to a 14 this year. So definitely Newton Pike looks a little bit faster at this juncture. Okay, the 4 is Love Your Neighbor. Now, this was the horse that came in second to our favorite of the race. And she actually, was a game second. She had the lead at the beginning of the stretch, lost the race to the favorite, and also had her best number, which was a 9. But the question then is, John, her previous best was a 14. So she goes from 14 to 9. That's a big jump. And now her odds are down to close to 4-1 as well. She's finished second 4 straight races, all at Fairgrounds, 3 at this distance. What do you think about Love Your Neighbor?
Well, it looks like she has some hang in her because 6 starts, 1 win, 4 seconds. Well, you could look at it 2 ways. She tries hard and she just gets beat, or she just can't finish the job, because last time out she took the lead just to get run down late. They did put blinkers on her last time out, and that's could have been the reason that she did run the 9. It could have been blinkers on. She does have some time. The problem I have with her is she's only 7-2. So,
yes,
a 5-4 exacta isn't going to be worth much. That'll probably pay about $6. So I was looking for value, and that's why I would try to beat the 4 as my second horse. But again, the 4 is certainly, there are times when I tell you a horse I don't think has much of a shot. This horse obviously does have a chance.
Also with Luis Saez on board, who was on board in the last race, which was her best race.
Correct.
Okay, now we go to the favorite, who should be Bella Ballerina. I don't think you're getting 7-5 on Saturday with Bella Ballerina. 15 and 12 last year, 10 this year, won her 2 races recently, which were both graded races, and they were grade 2 races. So that's even more impressive. Yeah, there's nothing not to like in this race with Bella Ballerina.
Yeah, she's never gone backwards. Every race is better than the previous one. She has time coming into this race. So, I don't think she has to bounce. I think she certainly has a chance to repeat. And if she does repeat, well, that'll be good enough.
Do you think that if you were in a situation where you could get the odds on this horse right now, that you would take it at 7-5?
Probably.
Yeah.
Why not? I don't think you're getting 7-5.
Yeah, I know.
You get 3-5.
Yeah. Life of Joy is the 6, the 4-1 shot. You got the Cox Pratt combo. Cox has won 4 of the last 6 Oaks races here, so he's got a little bit of momentum. But this horse has actually been pretty disappointing after winning her first 2 races. And really the numbers have just not proved a whole lot. She's just run 14s basically.
Yeah, she's got somewhat of a flat line, and she's really no value at 4-1. And Pratt and Cox, they'll probably take a lot of money. And I wouldn't be surprised if Life of Joy went off shorter than Love Your Neighbor. And if that's the case, well, then I may use the 4 for 6.
Sure, absolutely. All right, and then the 7 is Love and Trust. A lot of love going on in the Oaks. Sherry DeVreaux and Jose Ortiz combo is a nice one. You're getting close to 5-1. She's been in 2 races at Fairgrounds, including at this distance last time out, last month, running a 13 after running a 16 at Fairgrounds at 6 furlongs in January. The only thing is both races have been on Lasix, and the price is pretty low.
Yeah, and they're going to take money. Jose Ortiz and Sherry DeVoe, they're a potent combo at Fairgrounds every year. And again, the problem with this race is you're really going to have to find value. The only real value or true value in the race is the 2 Newton Pike. Most likely winner is the 5 Bella Ballerina. So what are you going to do? The first thing you're going to do is certainly play a 5-2 exacta. And then after that, you have to make a decision between the 3, the 6, the 7, who else you want to use underneath, and take the longest of those. But I think I like 5-2, and that's the number I'm playing.
Yeah, and I get the feeling that, like you mentioned, even with the 6, I get the feeling maybe the 4 could go off as the 4th choice.
Yeah, well, then I'll take 5-4 as one of my numbers. Right.
Yeah. All right, so there you go. I obviously agree with that one there. 5, maybe 2, 3, and 4. Only 4 that the 4 gets better odds, which we think could happen. Let's now get ready to talk about the Louisiana Derby. And the Louisiana Derby has a field of 9. And this one is another grade 2 race, a mile, 3/16. Purse is $1 million for 3-year-olds to go off about 6:45 on Saturday. Another 100-point race for the Derby. The morning line favorite is the 3. Your horse from the last time that we spoke with this horse at the Risen Star, when Chip Honcho was 7-1 and almost held on for the win, but couldn't get it. Was it Paladin that won that race?
Yep.
And Chip Honcho ran his best race of his career, ran an 8 in that race. And now, as I mentioned, is the morning line favorite to win the Louisiana Derby. And the line is really strong.
It's a pretty line. It kind of reminds me of Sovereignty from last year. Every race was better than the previous one. This horse is yet to go backwards, has a race a couple of races over the track. So we know he likes the surface. He's the horse to beat. He's never gone backwards, and he will be my top selection.
Okay, why not? I would not allow you to not make that pick as your top selection. All right, next up.
The matter is, though, we needed him last time. You ran at 7-1, but what are we going to do? We're going to take 8-5 this week, probably.
Yeah, we got to now we have to invest a little bit more money, but that's okay as long as we win. All right, let's go through the field. So you've got the 1 Pavlovian, and Doug O'Neill trained this horse, a 6-1 shot. It may not be a perfect sheet line, but the horse has gotten better over his career. A lot of races for a 3-year-old, but she came out with a 9 in her last start, which was a 4-point new top. He's 6-1. So I'm not sure that's enough value, but what do you think about the one Pavlovian?
Listen, Doug O'Neill's a terrific trainer, does a terrific job. The problem I have with this horse is his 2-year-old campaign. He had 7 races, and he never really got any better. He started with the 21 early last year in June. His last race was only in 19, so he didn't have much development. But all of a sudden this year, they sent him long, and his route races, a 13 and a 9, and his last 2 races were both very good. But I don't like this horse because you're going to see as we go through the field, there are horses that are really, solid, fast horses. This horse is okay at a big price, but I'm not in a rush to play him.
Okay, now let's go to the 2, Autobahn, an 8-1 shot. This is one of 2 horses trained in the race by Brad Cox. And this horse has improved in all 3 of his races, but the speeds are a little low, 18 and 15 this year, while both were on Lasix, and you're getting, a number that I think I'd want more from. I guess you're getting 8-1 because it's Cox.
Yeah, and it's also his first time at fairgrounds. I just can't play this horse. He's only 8-1. You'd need a lot more than 8-1 to play this horse.
The 4 is Universe, who was in that race, the Risen Star, along with Chip Honcho, finishing 4th, a couple of spots behind the favorite in this race. This is McPeak and Hernandez combo. You're getting a nice number at 12-1. Last year, the horse did a nice line from 18 to 12. Then had a really bad race to start the 2026 campaign in January with a 20. So he went backwards, but then he shot right back in that Risen Starter with 13. So at 12-1 may not be the worst idea to try to hit your exotics.
No, at 12-1, but he's going to be similar to a lot of other horses in the race. So let's see what happens. But this horse, you compare this horse to Pavolian, and this horse is 12-1. Pavolian is 6-1, but this horse had 14s and 12s as a 2-year-old, where Pavolian never broke a 16. So I would certainly consider this horse before I considered the 1.
Yes. I mean, the only thing with Pavolian is the 9. That's the difference. Okay. Now let's go to the 5, Golden Tempo. And you've got DeVoe and Ortiz combo here. A couple of wins at fairgrounds. One of them was a grade 3 win in the Lecomte. That was at this distance. Actually, that was at 1 mile and a 16th. The only thing is the horses run all 3 12s at fairgrounds. So what do you make of this?
I don't like this horse. I don't like the line. I think it's a flat line. I don't like, he didn't get better. He should have run better last time out. Not only that, he was much shorter price than Chief Honcho was. Chip Honcho was last time out, and I don't like this horse. I want to play against this horse. I know he's going to take money because of the connections, but I would try to beat him.
The 6 is Spirit of Royal, who probably shouldn't be in this race, but his numbers aren't terrible. He's actually gone from a 26 to a 15 in his last 5 races, so at least he's improving.
Yes, but I don't like him.
Yeah, neither do I.
You got it.
All right. The 7 is Blacksmith, and this is an interesting horse at 6-1. Of course, Baffert is training the horse. Just 1 win. But the good thing is the line. It starts off with an incredible 8 as a 2-year-old, which is something that you sometimes like to see, and sometimes you don't. Like you've said before, John, sometimes that's not a good thing. Because so far he hasn't been able to get back to single digits. At least he went from the 8 to the 18 and now is steadily making his way back to the 8. So at least that's a good sign. And the 6-1 number is not out of question.
No, not at all. He's fine. He's coming off of a layoff. It's Baffert and Giroux. And listen, it's a Baffert horse. He's shipping to the fairgrounds, certainly has a chance.
Yeah, the only negative potentially to look at is the last 2 races being on Lasix, but he did run a 12 in December without it. Okay. The 8 is Easterly, also at 6-1. Brad Cox, this is the second of his horses. He's coming off a win on Lasix to break his maiden at Gulfstream Park with a 12.
Well, he's lightly raced. He has 2 starts. He's run well with both of them, a second and a win. It's Brad Cox. He's bringing Edgar Zayas into ride. I guess he rode this horse for him at Gulfstream, so he's giving him a shot here. Why not?
Okay. And then the last horse is the 9 Emerging Market. 1 race at Tampa, runs a 10. That was a win on Lasix. That's a Chad Brown trained horse with Flavin Pratt on board. Pratt, by the way, has won 2 of the last 3 Louisiana Derbies, trying to make it 3 out of 4 at 6-1.
Not an easy thing to do to go from a maiden special weight, 1 start in the maiden special weight. It was at Tampa, so that, not the greatest horses run there, but it was on their big day. Horse has a shot, 1 start. But again, it's very hard to go from a maiden special weight win into a grade 2 stakes. So, and he's also going to a 1 3/16 second career start. He has a chance.
All right, John. So you're going with the 3 on top of
7, 8, and 9. Chip Honcho over the 7, the 8, and the 9. I want to beat the 5 Golden Tempo, who I'm sure will take money.
And I'll take the 3 as well over 4 and 7. So before you go, John, you have a horse you like in the 10th race, which obviously, let me move these entries up to race number 10. And there you go. It is it's a race. It's a grade 2 race called the Muniz Memorial Classic. And you like a decently priced horse in this race.
How do you know?
I don't know. I got my sources.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I like the 1 horse, Chasing the Crown. This horse is 12-1 on the morning line. He has a win at 2 races at Fairgrounds. He actually won. By the way, this is for turf only. If for some reason it rains, it comes off the grass, he'll probably be scratched because
it'll be fine. It's going to be sunny.
Yeah, okay. Well, he's run 22 times, all of them on the grass. So this is my top selection here. I would actually play a cold exacta here, Chasing the Crown and Laganos. 1-4 exacta box. Go 1-4-4-1. The 4 will be the favorite, and I would make a win bet on the 1 Chasing the Crown for sure.
And that horse, Chasing the Crown, had 1 race this year, ran an 8, and last year had 4 races, had 2 6s and a 7 in those 4 races.
Well, guess what? You're not going to find any other horse in this race. Well, Laganos, I guess, has a couple of 7s, but for the most part, 1 is 12-1, 1 is 2-1. It's not a genius play here.
Yeah. Well, it's not a genius play if the horse goes down to 4-1 on Saturday, but hey, if he stays at 10 or 12-1, it is.
Yeah, so. Absolutely. Guess what? At 4 or 5-1, he's also okay because other than he's got to beat 1 horse in the race, Laganos. He's faster than every other horse in the race. So,
and it's a short field. Yep.
Correct.
John, appreciate it as always. We get better and better coming up next week and in 2 weeks. So we'll do it again sometime soon.
Fantastic. Thanks, Greg. Stay safe and be well.
Thanks, John. That's Jon Hardoon from the Ragozin Sheets. You can check out the link in the description, actually links in the description of this video for how to check out John's packages on his own website, as well as the sheets for any race that you want to purchase, as well as, of course, the races that we're talking about here today. Okay. Now, I didn't have a whole lot of time to prepare to give you guys some of the information I used to when I did this on my own. Wait, this is the Louisiana Derby. Let's switch over to the Jeff Ruby. Meaning, photocopying everything, like my notes and stuff, which is always fun. Where are we? Can we get this? Oh, there we go. Okay. So I'll do my best to just translate as quick as possible so we don't hold anybody up. And as you can see by my crazy little man here, listen to this guy, man. Subscribe and like. Okay. Some historical notes from the Jeff Ruby. Oh, this race would be live on FanDuel TV. I'm not sure if you guys have it. I know you are out there as pretty diehard horse racing fans, so you probably do. Okay. You should know that in 3 of the last 4 Jeff Ruby stakes, we've had some impact on the Kentucky Derby. Last year, Final Gambit won this race, the Jeff Ruby, and then wound up finishing 4th, just outside the money in the Kentucky Derby. Never won another race, as far as I know, after that. A couple years earlier, in 2023, 2 Phils won the Jeff Ruby Stakes, then finished 2nd in the Kentucky Derby. Also went on to win the Ohio Derby. 2022, Rich Strike was 3rd in the Jeff Ruby and won the Kentucky Derby. That was that long shot, I remember. No wins after the Kentucky Derby win that I remember. Of course, you can go back to Animal Kingdom, who won in 2011 and also won the Derby. But the fact is that was Polytrack. It was also called the Spiral Stakes. And so that doesn't really count. It's a different surface now. So let's just zero in on what's happened lately. And I think it's important to do that because going into 2022, before Rich Strike won, nothing had really happened when they transferred everything over to the surface, the all-weather surface that we have now, where it translated to anything in the Derby. But all of a sudden, with Rich Strike's win, and then 2 of the other 3 years I just mentioned, there's been, oh, wait a second, you can actually race in the Jeff Ruby Stakes and be competitive in the Kentucky Derby. And so because of that, you are seeing a better field even. Matter of fact, this is a 12-horse field in this one. And we're seeing, let's see, you got Velazquez here. I read Ortiz Jr. here. Who else is here? Joel Rosario is here. And then trainers, if you want to, of course, the jockey can only go in one spot. But, Cox, who else has got horses here? Cox, Walsh. They have 2 each, by the way, in this race. Both of them. Those are the 2 premier trainers in this race. Okay, so just going over this. The one, let me see what I have here. Move this over. Okay. So the way we look at it, the morning line favorite is the 11. And that's stark contrast, a 5-2 shot. The other second choice is Full of Effort, the 7-2 shot. That's the 2. And so those are the deserving top 2 choices on the morning line. So obviously we don't want both of them to finish 1st and 2nd. And I do think one of them is worth taking, but I especially prefer the 2. I prefer the 2. I mean, look, you get a better combo. I know Mike McCarthy knows how to train. I get it. I'm not putting those guys down, that combo, but I prefer the Cox over Ortiz Jr. combo. I think most people do. But on top of that, maybe even more important, the 2 has at least raced at Turfway. And the 2 is also raced on the synthetic surface, the all-weather surface. So because of that, I'm going to go with the 2 as maybe the top choice in this one. And 7-2 isn't bad. You're getting close to 4-1. That's not bad. I mean, 2 seconds, 2 firsts in the last 4, has a couple of runner-ups in the last 2 races at Turfway on the surface, as you can see. What's also nice about the horse is last year, he went from 30 to 13, never going backwards. This year, and that was on grass. This year, he switches over to all-weather at Turfway, starts with a 16, then goes to a 12. So every time this horse gets on a different surface, he keeps improving. And because he's already been here a couple of times, I think that's a good edge for Full of Effort, which is why I think he might be the horse to beat. Now, since I do not want the 11, and the 11, just so you know, started out last year with 22, a couple of 16s, and a 12, all on grass. Now, he raced in the Breeders' Cup juvenile races, and finished 2nd. That's really impressive. Also had a win in a grade 3 race at Santa Anita. All of that is really impressive and nice. Matter of fact, when he was 2nd in the race at the Breeders' Cup race, he was a 58-1 shot. Okay, so all of that's nice. He starts this year with a 12 and wins. So I get it. I really do. But hasn't been on this surface before, and we can't pick them both, which is why I'm going to take the 2, and I'll eliminate the 11. So let's try to see if we can find some longer prices with the 2. And there are 4 horses that I want to point out. One of them is the 1, Turf Star. Turf Star is a 10-1 shot. John Velazquez will be on board for the first time. also was in that same race, that Breeders' Cup race, and also was a long shot. Unlike the favorite of the race, he finished 6th in the race, though, and did not come back with a win. Finishes, you can see on your entries, 6th. So it's like, well, that's not very good, but we don't really concern ourselves as much here with the results as we do with the sheets. And the sheets say, well, if you look at it, he continues to get better and has gone from an 18, I believe it was, to a 14 and a 12 in his last 3 races on turf. All right. So he is getting better, and you're getting a big number. Again, we're looking for long shots. So I've got a 12 this year, more than enough time off, late January race. And so he's one long shot. The other long shot is the 5 Black Hornet. And check this out. So Black Hornet, I just want to take a look at the 2 horses next to each other. Black Hornet, the 5, and Medici, the 6. Black Hornet's 12-1, Medici 6-1. All right. But yet Medici has a best 14, and he's done that 3 consecutive races. Okay. Black Hornet is coming off a 13 in his last race. So Black Hornet already has a better number than Medici, even in their last races. Both of these horses have, what is it? The 6 went 5 races without, and then broke his maiden. The 6, 5 races and then broke his maiden. The 5 also went 5 races before breaking his maiden. The 5 followed that up with a win, running the 13, while the 6 followed up, finishing 2nd. Not a big deal. The one thing I did notice, Medici might have as an advantage or a disadvantage, but I'll call it an advantage. He does seem to be a horse that wants to be up front. And there are a lot of horses in this race that appear like they want to close. A lot of horses. It just seems like for as many horses there are in this race, it just seems like there are a lot of horses that just do not, or at least have not had experience with going wire to wire or even wanting to lead early. So again, I think that might be an advantage for Medici. But why would I want Medici at 6-1 when I can get Black Hornet at 12-1? And I also get Brendan Walsh with Black Hornet. So that's just, now look, there is another difference. Okay. But is it worth the 6 points? And that is, ever since the move over to Brendan Walsh from Cox, all 4 of the races that he's raced in have been on Lasix. So you do have to take that into consideration. But I'm willing to do that as a long shot. Again, as a long shot. Next up is the 7, Maximus Prime, another long shot that could be intriguing. On the negative side, it's his 3rd race in 5 weeks. But if you look at this, in his first 5 races, nothing happened. Nothing. I mean, not good at all in the 20s. Whether it was the previous trainer or Anthony Mitchell, nothing's going on. But then he makes the switch to begin the year to Turfway Park and to the all-weather surface, and he starts off with a 22. So you're probably, this isn't working out again. But then the next race, 17, it was on the Lasix. Okay. And then after that, he runs a 14. So he's finally, it looks like, he couldn't do it on dirt, but on this synthetic surface, 22, 17, 14, he hasn't won a race yet, but I'm not trying to win a race here. I'm trying to get a horse to continue that forward move. And if he can run a 12 or an 11, maybe he finishes in 3rd or 2nd. So that's another long shot. The one I like the most as a long shot is the 8 Chaos Agent. That's the Rosario ridden horse. Now, he's going to ride here for the first time. He wasn't on board when this horse broke his maiden on this synthetic surface at Gulfstream. Ran at 12. All right. So, but I'm getting double digits odds. I'm getting 10 to 1. I'm getting Rosario upgrade. And I'm looking for some long shots. So out of these 4, and plus the other long shots I mentioned, none of them really have anything that sticks out in a much positive way. I mean, that's why they're long shots. But at least this one's off the bat with a win on the surface, upgraded with the Rosario. So there's hope that this horse has something, and I'm getting 10 to 1. Okay. So basically, I'm going to do 2 with long shots, 1, 5, 7, 8. And again, 8 would be my favorite. As far as the other horses, Baytown Dreamer, the 3, ran a 15 in his last race. That's it. The only good news is it equaled his best race that he did at Oaklawn in January on a dirt fast track. And that was his first race on a synthetic track. So, but 1 for 11. And I just think there are better options, but maybe Baytown Dreamer likes the surface. I don't know. We don't know. The 4, 2 Out Hero. This horse is going backwards. 14 and 15 on turf, 17 when he went to this surface for the first time in February. Who else did not we talk about? Brave Force has been getting better, but still a little slow. 17 and 15 this year. The good news is it's at Turfway, and he just came off breaking his maiden on Lasix, and you're getting a big number at 30 to 1. Not a crazy idea, but it's just that the other long shots I had faster. Argos is 6 to 1 to 10. This is another Brad Cox trained horse. He's taken over for the first time. But the problem is it's 6 to 1. The problem is, where's my value here? Now, if you look at it, you go, whoa, wait a second. Argos has a grade 1 win. That's pretty impressive. Then he goes to that Breeders' Cup race and goes backwards. Goes from a 15 to a 16. Wait, did he run that? Yes, 15 to a 16. He comes back and runs a 13 to begin the year. And that was just a couple of weeks ago. So it's the 3-week layoff here. And he's now going to Cox. Look, if this horse is 10 to 1, then he's definitely in the mix. He's a long shot in the mix. Like, for instance, let's say if the 8 goes down to 5 to 1 and the 10 goes up to 6 to 1, I'd switch it. But I just don't like Argos at 6 to 1. And the 12 is Stop the Car. This is the other Brandon Walsh trained horse. And his numbers are 18, 13, and 14. He wins his first 2 races. But the good thing I could see here is that when he runs to 13, it's a new 5-point top. So he does react a little bit to the 14 and doesn't have a good result at all. Finishes 7th in that grade 3 race. But there's just a couple of things that just, one is, he's going from dirt to synthetic. He hasn't done it yet. He's lightly raced. He also, when he had to step up a little bit in competition, that could be another reason why he didn't have a good result. But on the positive side, you're getting 20 to 1. He's right next to the 11. And this is another horse, by the way, just like the 11, that doesn't necessarily want to lead. Even though stark contrast, compared to a lot of these other horses, may actually want the lead because somebody's going to have to take the lead. So I could see stark contrast shoot right out of the gate and try to get like first, second, third right off the bat based on the way his lines look here. And maybe Stop the Car will follow him. You do have Brendan Walsh and you do have 20 to 1. Again, not the worst idea in the world. 13s and 14s. That's only a point or two away from these other long shots. And you're getting Brendan Walsh, but you are all the way out there on the 12th position. So, that's not too good there. All right. So there you go. That is the way I see it at the Jeff Ruby. But if you want to know how the well, I couldn't say Jon really, because I know Jon doesn't like wagering handicapping races at Turfway. But hey, you know what? You don't have to bet on every race. So if you're like Jon and you don't want to wager too much on this race, I could completely understand that. But since it's a prep race, just wanted to get you that information. And we'll be back again next week for the two really big races that kick off a 2-week span of the top 5 Derby prep races of the year. And that's going to be the Arkansas Derby and the Florida Derby. So looking forward to it. Best of luck, everybody out there. Don't forget, subscribe if you haven't done that before. Like it, share it. That's all important. So the more people get to see what we're doing here, the better it is for us. More advertising dollars, the easier it is for us to be able to just provide these videos to you for free, which they are. And also, what you can do is, don't forget, you can check out the thanks icon. And if you ever want to, anytime, you could donate to the show. You can let us know why you're donating to the show, keeping in mind that by donating to the show, the money goes right back into the show to provide us the resources to make these videos better than they are even now, and improving upon everything we do. That's all we try to do here for the years that we've been doing this. So that'll do it. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you guys